Mauritius have already shown everyone they are no pushovers after a resolute display against hosts India in the Intercontinental Cup 2024, and tonight they face Syria, a side which is 86 places ahead of them in the FIFA World Rankings. Welcome to Hyderabad as international football returns to a more colourful Gachibowli Stadium after a long wait. That is the points table, one apiece for India and Mauritius after the 0-0 in the first match of the tournament. A frustrating night for Manolo Marquez's side, and his eyes will be keenly fixed on what the Syrians produce. Jose Lana takes charge for the first time of the Asians. There is a new head coach for Syria as well, and the Asian country takes on Mauritius. More Spanish flavour in the continent. Robin Singh spoke with both him and Mauritius head coach Julem Molek earlier in the evening.
Jose, you are the highest ranked team of the competition. Does that also make you favourites to win the tournament?
I don't think so. I don't believe favorites. I think everybody has to show it in the pitch. We have a lot of players, new players. Some players now doesn't have a team. They are making practices on their own. So I don't think we are favorites.
Now this is your first game as manager. What are your objectives with this group of players?
We have some objective as a team, defensive objective, and in attack the same. And our objective is improve our performance in these big objectives as a team.
Molek, a very impressive performance against India with only 30% possession. But what impressed you the most?
On est encore en cours de travail pour justement réparer ces points-là. C'était le point qu'on avait noté en fin de match au niveau de la possession. Maintenant, la Syrie ça est à un niveau encore au-dessus. Donc je ne sais pas si on aura plus de possession, mais en tout cas, j'espère le même résultat.
So after the game, the possession was indeed a problem. We are working on it. We actually know that we want to improve this against Syria, and we know it will be difficult because Syria have a very good midfield also. So yeah, we hope we will be better on this point.
We've already seen Mauritius play, Robin, and now a chance for Syria as well to show something unique, a new regime, a change at the top after Hector Cooper. Any expectations?
I think when you speak of Jose Lana, he's got the experience of working with youth players from the Spanish setup. He'll like to bring some of those learnings into the team for Syria. Hector Cooper tried to get them through to the next round, but wasn't enough. But Jose Lana with this team, he said his objective is to try new things, and we can already see a new formation that's coming on with a 4-3-3. Usually you see two sitters, which was under Hector Cooper, so the objective is already in front of us how Jose Lana wants to play, and that's a very attacking formation according to me.
Alrina makes his international debut along with Ahmed Faka, and the goalkeeper makes only his second appearance. A new faces slowly being introduced by the new head coach, a debut as well for Mustafa Abdul Latif. All these debutants are under 21. Tahir Kroma, Indian football fans will know him well. He won his first trophy in his career with Mumbai City last season. So there is some pedigree in there, along with Ala Al-Dali, who can be brought on. As for Mauritius, 5 changes to the starting 11 from Mulek, but the centre-backs are undroppable, and they were very impressive versus India. Villeneuve and Emmanuel Vessant continue as well, and the spine is almost the same apart from a change up front, with Aurélien Francois rewarded for his fine showing as a substitute.
Aurélien came out as a substitute, and he was causing dangers by getting at the end of things, and you got Ferre on the left wing as well, which have also come into the starting lineup for Guillaume Molek, and they'll want to prove the reason why they should be deserving of the starting 11, but players like Ligne Rita, Keliste, Botla can all come on and cause issues. At the same time, Jordan Francois, maybe he's being rested after the brilliant performance against the Indian team. Those one-on-one duels was always had him coming on top, with Quintin Raulal Singh also putting a great performance from Mauritius in the previous game.
Pablo Sabag playing striker for Syria. He's got great pedigree. Plays his football in Peru. 2 goals and 3 assists already in 8 league games, so he is in form. and his countrymen will be hoping he brings it into this one. As for Lindsay Rose, what a performance against India. He was adjudged the man of the match.
Captain's performance from Lindsay Rose, but he'll have his hands full with Pablo tonight. And you've got Mohammad Marmoor also on the other wing, alongside Al-Mawas on the right wing. They will all cause problems because, again, this is all, if you look back at the lineups from Hector Cooper's side, maybe Gilles Molek had something to go by. But under Jose Lana, this is absolutely brand new. There are certain injuries present on the squad, but I always believe if there's something missing, that also means this is an opportunity for the new boys or the boys waiting in the lineup to make a claim for that first position or the first 11.
Back stands the other night, and while we look forward to this game, we also get a chance to look back at the first fixture. I'm just wondering if you've had a chance to think about that cracking interview as well from Manolo Marquez. He's not pulling any punches.
I think that's the reason why I love Manolo Marquez, the fact that he's very honest, very, very direct, doesn't sugarcoat anything, and that's what you want from your coaches. You want it as it is, and you do want him to tell you what he wants. He's very direct, which is very great to see from him. There was a bit of frustration. In my opinion, the Indian team played a sideways pass too many. Their passes had to be breaking lines. We saw glimpses of it from flick-ons, which had the likes of Ashish Rai for Changte, Jay Gupta coming on ahead, but I need more of that for the Indian team, and that is why we have one more fixture for India to prove all of us wrong and show us what they're all about under Manolo Marquez.
Of course, India lost against Syria in the Asian Cup 2023, and one of the reasons we get a chance to measure again in front of Syria, who've had a bit of a topsy-turvy time since that Asian Cup. Some very bright spots. Only lost out to Iran and got knocked out in the last 16. They come into this on the back of a couple of losses, 1-0 against North Korea, which ended their dream of progressing into World Cup qualification, and a 5-0 loss against Japan as well.
But if you look at the losses that they've faced, they've always faced higher oppositions or stronger oppositions, and according to me, your losses always bring you bigger learnings, and for Syria, that will be the idea. When you look back at the Indian team game, I'm sure they've also have eyes for Syria and where they can prove a menace against them on the 9th of September. But India has work to do. At the same time, Manolo Marquez needs to find out how he can do and make his side do better in the last game and become champions of this tournament. There are still a few Indian team fans who will want to watch, maybe give their own dissections on how India should be playing against Syria, but for me on the 9th, that is a revenge match. We'll want to win it.
Almost have to win it, given how the reaction has been to that 0-0, and it's a great chance to go up the rankings as well. And we all think it doesn't really matter, but in a way it does, because those points, it gives you confidence, it gives you a little bit of momentum, and there aren't as many breaks as last season this time, so they've got to make the most of each and every international break.
And when you keep moving up on the rankings as well, it also changes the kind of opponents you face, because the pots in which you're picked from changes. And that's very important for the Indian team going forward to playing against higher ranked oppositions. You might lose some, but when you win, you will also get a lot of learnings. Your ranking will give you confidence. I agree, it's just a number, but sometimes those numbers matter. For mental purposes, those numbers will matter.
Al-Mawas on the right wing will be the captain for Syria tonight. Jose Lana will make a lot of decisions. Fantastic record with all the age group teams in Spain that he has managed. Also worked as an analyst, as an opponent's analyst. Also worked as a conditioning coach. So this is not just a tactician. This is a man who knows his fitness. He knows how to find out the weaknesses in the opposition. Captain's armband back with Lindsay Rose. Emmanuel Vincent and him, they both share it around.
Coming back to Jose Lana, I'm sure as a coach or as a player, there is no getting away from him, be it from a tactical board or the GPS system. He knows every inch of the way the way modern football is played. And on the other side, Lindsay Rose will have his hands full with the likes of Pablo Malmoud and Al-Mawas tonight. At the same time, they've got a very attacking midfield as well. Those three in the middle are not sitters. The only person sitting in that Syrian midfield probably will be Elmar Ibrahim. The other two midfielders will join into the attack. So there will be numbers in attack that Lindsay Rose and his counterparts will have to manage tonight.
Surprisingly, of the three teams involved, it is the lowest ranked side, which are still alive in the long journey to World Cup qualification. Syria's campaign is over, just like India's, after finishing third in a group which also involved the mighty Japan and North Korea along with Myanmar. They finished with 7 points, a heartbreaking 92nd minute winner from North Korea's Il Gwang-jong, ending their dreams. It also ended Argentinian Hector Cooper's time as Syria coach. He resigned, and then it took a lot of convincing to get Jose Lana on board, but now that he has taken the job, he seems like he means business.
He'll definitely mean business, because when speaking to him earlier, when I asked him, are you the favourite of the tournament, he cut me off before I could finish that question. He said, absolutely not. We're all here to compete. We're all here with an objective to move forward. And that is exactly what they'll want to do, one step at a time. And in front of them is the mighty Mauritians, who gave a good account of themselves against the Indian team. But tonight, the opponents are different, maybe a little bit more stronger, but that means they have to be a lot more focused to stop all of them and more.
Really interesting matchup. Gives Syria a chance to acclimatise once again to India. They have already played the 2019 edition of this tournament. But a lot of the players who played in that edition are not playing this one, so it is a new experience for this side.
And I think that's what the Intercontinental Cup brings to you, an opportunity for a lot of these young boys, a lot of coaches to try things on how they can move forward, and other plan A's and plan B's of how to play football moving forward onto the international stage, a bigger stage coming in the future for both these teams.
Shiv Sena Reddy, Chairman, Sports Authority of Telangana, present to welcome the teams, along with Dr. Jitendra Reddy, the Special Representative at Delhi and Advisor of Sports, and Soni Bala Devi as well, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, Sports of Telangana. A lot of work has gone into restoring some pride to the Gachibowli. A lot of work went into restoring pride back to this city as well, footballing pride, by the man in charge of India now, Manolo Marquez, who had a big role to play in Hyderabad, winning silverware in domestic football after a long time. And hopefully, not just this game, but the one on 9th, as we continue to look forward to that one, India versus Syria, will allow the city to come back in numbers again and support the sport.
I'm sure a journey of silverware that was started by Manolo Marquez and Hyderabad FC, now on the Indian team colours, he'll want to continue that journey. The trophy at hand is the Intercontinental Cup. That could be going into the hands of India, going into the hands of Manolo Marquez in a city he's very familiar with and has a lot of happy memories about it as well.
It's now time for the national anthems.
For the national anthem of Syria. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able for the national anthem of Mauritius.
Well, in the game against India, Mauritius did make wholesale changes to the side which beat Eswatini, but Mulek's gamble nearly paid off. It's not completely wrong to say, Robin, that they had the finer moments in that match and could have even won it.
They had their opportunity, especially the one that landed to Emmanuel on the full half volley, but just kissed the crossbar, helping Amrinder just go over. But they had their opportunities. They played a lot more forward football. And I'm thinking as the game grew forward in both the halves of football for Guillaume, he believed that there was a winner in that game. And on the other hand, even for the Indian team, they had a few opportunities to open their scoring of the tournament, but they've got another game to make amends of all the mistakes and all the misses that came their way in the previous one.
Was very bold, Mulek, in that game against the host side. Now Jose Lana's turn to show what he thinks is the best way for Syria to play. And he has left out some big names from the squad, like Karbin as well, who scored a couple of goals at the Asian Cup, including the winner against India, and has brought back some forgotten names, almost as a tester to the squad depth that Syria have. Lots of players who play in Sweden, in Denmark and other European nations, and that quality will have to show.
Tonight is their opportunity for Syria, for Jose Lana as well, not to forget his first game as the Syrian manager, to start on a winning note. All the work that goes in behind the scenes, behind the cameras, when the floodlights are not on you, is the opportunity for you to show what it's all about and bear fruit. The fruition of Guillaume Molek's work was being seen against India, but the work continues every single day for both these teams, and both these coaches is an opportunity to improve. And for Syria as well, as you said earlier, an opportunity to acclimatize for the bigger challenge ahead against an opponent that they have already beaten. But consistency is key, and that's exactly what Jose Lana will now want to bring from their Spanish setup into the Syrian side.
Just moved to Damascus in late August, Jose Lana. So he hasn't had too much time to work with the squad. As for Molek, this is only his fourth game in charge of Mauritius. All three head coaches in the Intercontinental Cup this year. It's about setting a foundation. It's about finding out more about what they have and how they're going to use them.
And I'm sure the Intercontinental Cup brings them this same opportunity that they've been looking for. When you train, yes, there are opportunities and avenues for improvement, but the fruit is always the sweetest when all of that training pays off on game day.
So Syria hurting and Mauritius impressing game after game. A nation against one from Africa, which makes the tournament truly intercontinental. New coaches on the horizon, and with the hopes of countries which can stretch but for some reason are unable to reach and grasp. It sets us up very nicely for the match on the 9th, when India will be involved again. Until then, enjoy the Eagles against the Dodos.
We'll have to see how high can these Eagles soar, or will the Dodos stop them one more time, prove to be robust, prove to be hungry, be the lowest ranked nation of this tournament. But that's just a number at the moment, especially for somebody like Lindsay Rose, who had a brilliant match in the previous game.
Lots of data these days in football that gets stored and presented, and one of the instant changes that Jose Lana has made is to the shape of the side. De Cooper preferring a 4-4-2 with two sitting midfielders. Jose Lana has come and added the favorite Spanish formation, the 4-3-3. You can see a lot of water on the pitch. There was rain earlier on. Fears of some water pooling in parts, but the field has passed the test and the game goes on.
Ahmed Faka, that's his first cap and that first opportunity to stop Ferre, who's just in the starting 11 in today's game, wanting that foul, referee having none of it. Harish Kundu, today's central referee.
Here's Lindsay Rose, almost scored a goal as well in that game against India. Likes to get forward, makes those centre-back runs. Lovely sense of adventure from Mauritius.
Speaking to the coaching staff a little earlier, here's a fun fact for everybody watching us tonight, that 70% of Mauritius population has Indian heritage amongst them.
Oh, long attempt as well from Aurélien François. And he continues from where he left off in that game against India. Couple of brilliant chances in that match, one headed, one with his feet where he had to shoot first time and sent a stinger towards Glenn, who had to be well aware of his surroundings. Here's Al-Marmour trying to set up Abdul Latif. Ball just escaping the youngster.
That's the first opportunity, a long-range shot, getting a slight deflection, but that should be the idea of the evening. The pitch is wet, just a bounce right before the goalkeeper, and he had to parry it away. Mauritius clearly look confident coming into this game rather than sitting back against a higher ranked opposition, probably a stronger opposition. They want to take the game to them.
Here's Jose Lana. Attentive Spaniard. Only lost 1 out of 24 games in charge of the under-21 Spain side. Two types of French people. One very particular in their fashion. One beautiful despite having a bit of a rough outage. The way he wears his shirt and the suit just shows that he wants his team to not always be perfect. Take a risk and you might still look good.
Well, that's exactly what he'll want. He'll want the bit of roughness, and we can clearly see that Ahmed Fakar not taking any prisoners, just coming in straight for the tackle on Ferre, who seems to be slightly injured at the moment. Hopefully, we hope he's okay, but coming back to Guillaume, he'll want that bit of class, he'll want that bit of finesse alongside the rest. Just take a shot when needed, go direct if needed, and hopefully we can already see the likes of Lindsay Rose playing those long balls and Ferry taking those shots earlier.
Fakar, who is making his debut, has played one game for Sweden under-20s and plays in the top division as well in the country for AIK, very popular club. Good interception by the experienced Alajan, instantly given away. Bruno Lang moves it forward.
I'm sure Bruano will have that role of just sitting in front of this centre-back pairing of Lindsay alongside Dylan Collard. But at the same time, you can see it again. The ball is not being easily moved around when they're trying to play it short. It's either being overhit or skidding a little too quickly.
Makes it difficult to defend, but also to attack in a way. First touch and technique becomes more and more important when the ball is behaving in a particular way. The experience of Al-Medani at the back will be important for Syria. Alajan was strong.
Bit of stop and start alongside a little bit of water that's been standing on this ground. Harish Kundu in the middle of the action, just trying to play the game on, but there was none. But I'm sure he'll have a little bit of a conversation with both sets of players, saying just watch your tackles. I understand it's slippery, but if you're a little too late, I won't be shy to take my yellow cards out.
Just the 2 games. So unless you get sent off, there's no chance of missing the next one. Great idea, but once again difficult to play that kind of a pass in these conditions. Nice flick from Al-Mawas, wearing number 10.
In these opening minutes, Mauritius is not backing down. They're taking the game to Syria. They're building attacks on attack. They're okay to be direct, and that possession says it all. They want to take the game. They want to play fearless football against a team who sort of and maybe be unsettled, being their first game. Mauritius understanding the conditions a little better.
No, also to imagine the confidence after that 0-0 against India. and they grow into games. It's not little phases. They didn't have a couple of good phases against India. They had a good game, and that makes a difference. The rain has just started pouring again. Very unpredictable weather in Hyderabad over the last week. Good work from Wilson Mutu. Here's Francois. Villeneuve.
Slippery character, Villeneuve. Even more slipperier now that the rain's pouring down on us, especially on the players. Hopefully the ball keeps moving better or easier.
Francois is offside. But how about that? Getting the ball out of his feet in a split second. Fantastic technique, unlucky.
That's good movement. Maurizio looking confident on the ball, and he wasn't. I'm sure the linesman had a better view than I did, but in my eyes he was onside already. That's a good movement. But if between the two centre-back pairing you won't have Al-Midani slipping with all his experience. Bit lucky for the linesman to raise his flag and give Aurelia offside.
Yeah, more than 50 appearances for Syria for Al-Midani. He's part of the team, started every match when the Syrians won 6 in a row. That was a couple of years ago. That was a great run. However, not used at the Asian Cup. It's been 11 years since he made his debut for Syria. Very competitive. To get into the squad, lots of players, as well doing research, who have returned to the team after a number of years being left out. It's almost like a message from a new head coach that there are no favourites, and you could see that even a little bit of that in Manolo Marquez's selection, and that's something that new coaches want to do. They want to foster competition for every spot on the pitch.
And I think that's the right way to go. Make the players wake up if need be. That this position that you think is yours in the first 11 is never certain. It's the hard work and the dedication and the hunger that I want to see in every game. The desire for you to win games is what will make you keep that spot. Because even if you look at Jose Lana tonight, he's used Ahmed Fakar as a debutant tonight against Mauritius. You've got someone like a Tahir Kroma on the bench who knows Indian conditions. Yes, I agree, you've got an Indian team game pending, but at the same time, acclimatize yourself, get some minutes under your belt.
Jean-Louis, his first involvement, had a good game against India as well. And that double save from a Changte cross that could have caused more problems.
But we'll need a lot more of those opportunities against the likes of Syria, and probably a bit more clinical in front of goal if the opportunity arises.
Nicely nipped away by Al Marmour initially. The referee asks him to get up and get on with it. Same decision for Mauritius as well.
I'm sure the Syrian players will have to figure out a way to play alongside their left side, because the ball seems to be slowing down a bit on the ground. Maybe direct football needed. On opportunities, sometimes you have to get used to. You have to understand, if the ball's not moving, just kick it along. There's no harm in it.
Yeah, you'd prefer that.
I surely prefer that. Love bullying a few defenders in this rain. Maybe we'll figure this out, have a game on Sunday, and see if I can still bully a few people in Hyderabad on that game.
Wonder if tactics go out of the window when conditions might not be fully supportive, but this is not a sport in which you make excuses. Had a few messages in the run-up to the Intercontinental Cup whether a game will be cancelled due to rain, and it's almost unheard of that happens. The referees will try everything to make sure the game continues. Of course, the litmus test is seeing if the ball rolls one full circle, the entire circumference, once you bounce it down, and that is happening. And as long as that happens, you have to play. First yellow card of the game comes out. Wilson Mutu into the book.
Wilson, Mutu, Villeneuve, both present on the ball, trying to win it. Just a little over-eager. Mutu to win the ball, giving away a free kick and a yellow card in the process. Goes alongside his name. He'll have to be a little careful because it's only 12 minutes on the clock. But that's something that I like about these Mauritius players. Even on the other night, one-on-one situations, they were reading them very well. They always came out usually on the top of those one-on-one opportunities. But at the same time, what I also notice is the fact that they get a little too close to you, just like on that occasion. The flick on from Chant in the previous game to let Ashish ride through was a prime example of that. And that's somewhere, I think that's where the inexperience of this Mauritius side has to get better when they play higher ranked oppositions. On how close do you get?
Yeah, treating this very much as preparation for a continuing World Cup 2026 qualification campaign. Early ball comes in towards Al-Mawas, headed back into the area, dealt with by Lindsay Rose. Alrina, just 20, the right back, wearing number 4 for Syria. Well done by Al Marmour.
Seems to be in the next 14 minutes or post 14 minutes of play, Syria seem to be building themselves into the game, moving forward. But that's good work from Mutu.
Pablo Sabag, who's been left frustrated because he simply hasn't been involved playing up front, the midfield, finding it difficult to get him into the game, and you can see just a little bit of a lash out.
Mutu also making the most of it, knowing where Sabag is, but he is frustrated. No crosses coming into him yet, no balls to hold up. Been left as a waiting figure at the moment in front of that Syrian midfield and defense line. Maybe a way to just get him involved is a lot more just push the ball up. He is a big boy, but there's going to be a good competition in the middle when you've got the likes of Dylan Kola and Lindsay Rose, who are also two physically dominating figures in the Mauritius defense.
Alajan. Here's Ahmed Faka. Just a second appearance for the goalkeeper Glelin as well. Made his debut against Japan and lost 5-0.
I'm sure he'll want to get a win under his belt and quickly forget that 5-0 outing against Japan. But again, as I said, you know, when you play against stronger opportunities and opponents, you have a lot of learnings to get alongside your losses, and I'm sure Lelel would have done all of that and more. He'll want his defense to be compact. He'll want his defense to be communicative with him to make sure they get a clean sheet tonight if possible.
Yes, Sabag creating room for himself. Al-Mawas on the ball, low hit straight towards Jolui, who got down quickly.
That's good work from Syria, moving the ball from one end of the pitch, one wing to the other. Al-Mawas was free, tries to probably curl the ball in that 6-yard box for his teammate on the second post, but straight into the hands of Kevin, and Mauritius survived that attack at the moment.
But that's what he wants more of, Pablo Sabag. Just feed the ball into his feet so he can hold off the marker. Made his debut at the Asian Cup. 1 goal already, so he's opened his account. won it back high up the pitch. Latif moves it out wide for Alajan. Comes off him in the end for a goal kick.
Gets cleared off. Alajan, and feeling the after effects of that. Dora taking no prisoners on that occasion. But Syria look to be building attacks now, trying to play the ball forward, move the ball alongside the ground. But in the rain, getting those touches right sometimes is not that easy. And Alajan still feeling the after effects of that clearance that came in from Sitora, who starts today.
Interesting the other day how Guillem Mulek was talking about the team right in the center circle. Manolo Marquez meanwhile taking notes, looking more professorial than ever.
Don Manolo looks like a El Professor tonight, alongside his counterparts, his staff also helping him decide what could be the best way to beat the Syrian side.
Syria getting slightly impatient as well, pressing higher up the pitch, and that's not a bad thing. Getting impatient in football, sometimes you have to harass your opponents and win back possession rather than wait and watch.
Especially when you've got water on the pitch, and we can clearly see that sometimes the best thing you can understand or do is just play the ball forward, kick it long, find your big target man, in this case Pablo Sabag.
Can he touch the ball again after taking a free kick like that? Counts as a double touch.
Clearly not. Harish Kundu pulling the ball back.
Happened in a school tournament once, and the referee didn't pull it back, and eventually ended up in the back of the net, and arguments went up everywhere. Surely Harish Kundu will not miss that.
Suppose you were at the end of that ball as it went into the goal, making sure it ends up in the back of the goal.
For the first time, Villeneuve on the ball. Some really good set pieces against India. What can he whip in? A good ball again. It was towards Aurélien Francois.
Good ball whipped in, dangerous ball whipped in. But Francois just getting too much of a flick on to make that ball go goalwards. Just a little too ahead of the ball. Had to completely twist his neck to get some sort of direction, but at the end it just goes out for a throw in for Syria. But I like this team. Mauritius still not backing down, taking the game to Syria, making it difficult for them to even play in this rain.
Villeneuve with his left foot this time, not as good as his right.
They're both very slippery characters, Villeneuve, and at that moment closing him down, Al-Mawas. Both these players know a thing or two about body feinting. On that occasion, Villeneuve just trying to turn Al-Mawas, the ball going on for a goal kick.
Straight towards Sabag. Had the time to control that.
Communication just missing on that occasion. A little more from his teammates, especially his captain Al-Mawas, who went on that second ball run. Could have spoken to him.
Outside of the boot from Bruano. Almost beautifully falling into the path of Villeneuve, who's on the ball now.
Emmanuel as well. I've liked what I've seen of him in the previous game and tonight as well. Just a workhorse for his team, very silently, just keeps his head down, keeps working, making sure he's giving that sort of protection to his two centre backs when the full backs are up high, always having three players available in defence.
Alajan is not having a good time on that wing.
He'll hope for the next 23 minutes to go by really quickly and hope of the other wing being a little more drier in the second half, if it may be for him.
Most experienced player for Syria among this group, the left back Alajan. The winner of the under-21 Euros, Jose Lana. A lot of stars are made in that tournament, especially when you're in charge of a country like Spain. Must be such a difficult task to choose a 25-man squad from that kind of talent pool. Pablo Sabag.
That's good football from the Syrian team. Between Pablo, Al-Mawas, going a little give and go, making spaces for each other, unselfish runs, one-touch football even in the rain, but just overhitting that ball on that occasion, and it runs out for a goal kick. But now Jose Lana and his team are pushing up, wanting to take the game to Mauritius.
More settled now, Al-Midani and Ahmed Faka.
Pablo Sabag finally being brought into the game. That frustration has quickly turned into a smile. But in this rain as well, he'll have to get more players next to him. With my experience, when the ball's so slippery, one-touch football is a good idea, but then your teammates have to be around you to support you and help you out, because that ball is going to slip around.
No pressure on Kola. On the ball. I mentioned how good his positioning is. Started out his career as a left back and also played through the middle. And primarily plays as a number 6 now, which is interesting because he made his debut under the wonderfully named French coach Didier 6. And given by that, you should change your surname to 9 or something, Robin.
Probably can take it to 23 as well. Few numbers available for me, but at the moment I'm very happy with seeing get the Punjabi out of me, alongside a bit of brutal hard working, amongst the other things that Indian football is all about.
Al-Halak, the number 8, hasn't seen too much of the ball. Plays right in the hole behind Pablo Sabag. Easily dealt with by Wilson Mutu. Lindsay Rose so confident when he starts to gather pace in his stride. Gave the ball away, but has that ability to beat his man. Something that centre-backs have had to develop over the last few years, especially since a certain Van Dijk has been doing it for the last 5 to 6 years. Little likenesses that can be spotted now and then.
I'm sure in modern day football it just gives the coach an extra arm or an extra leg when your centre back can move the ball forward, join into the attack, gives the opportunity for midfielders to go forward, venture forward a little more.
Al-Mawas, slight touch, Jean-Louis. Got enough on that. Mauritius keep it in play. Wilson Mutu very calmly towards Emmanuel Vincent, who's looking up. Here's Lindsay Rose again. This is that run that he likes making.
Alajan asking for the foul, and a bit of theatrics at the end of that too. Later on, understand the foul has already been given for the first push on him, but this was a cross earlier coming from Al-Mawas, gets a bit of deflection from Dylan Kolar, and Kevin does enough for Adrian Mutu. Pardon me, Wilson Mutu to pass the ball through. Gave me a bit of Adrian Mutu out of that.
A former teammate?
He went to Pune a season earlier than I did, but if I did have the opportunity, I think Wilson Mutu is making up for that, showing me he can play the ball as confident as the striker, just playing that ball in the middle with even pressure coming on him. That too in the box. I'm sure Gilon Molek wouldn't be happy with that if that got intercepted.
That was my question. Where does it come from? Because the flip side is he might actually be happy with that. Is it from the head coach asking the players, be confident? Yes, it's a risk, but if not now, if not in the Intercontinental Cup, then when are you going to do that? Because the room to take that kind of a risk in a World Cup qualifier when you're actually alive is probably a lot less than doing it here.
I think it's about what you spoke about earlier, the momentum, when you know there's a sense of risk involved, but at the same time when it keeps paying off, you start gaining confidence and momentum of, hey, listen, I've done this earlier, maybe I can do it again. And that's what's needed, and then the coach also starts believing.
Al-Halak finally getting more room, more space, more time on the ball.
Syria intercepting the ball, moving forward quickly to Al-Halak, trying to get a better of Lindsay Rose, but Lindsay Rose also getting some help from the rain, the ball not sticking, and an overhead touch to take the ball out for a goal kick. Good pressure from Mauritius one more time. They're not giving these Syrian midfielders any time on the ball, especially when it's in the middle third. So I'm sure that's the idea from Gilon Molek, that let them have the ball in defensive thirds, but as soon as it moves forward to the middle or the attacking, close them down super quick.
Al-Mawas, wonderfully done in a tight area. What a touch from Lindsay Rose. Heroic.
Beautiful diving header coming from Lindsay Rose, and just the right amount on it to take it away from Pablo Sabag.
Al-Halak's ball. This time Mutu almost setting up Pablo Sabag, who had to take it first time. Good action all round.
Good football. Ball goes out to Al-Mawas, gets the better of Mutu on that occasion, puts the ball in, but that header coming from Lindsay Rose was beautiful. Just got the right amount of touch on it, not to take it towards goal, but take it away from Pablo Sabag. I'm sure he's applauding as much as his teammate, even that clearance from Lindsay Rose.
Very delicate. A little more on that. A slight angular change, and something like that can beat your own goalkeeper.
You can ask any centre-back, he does not like dealing with those, especially when you're running towards your own goal. You got a flick on, that can go anywhere. And I'm sure 5 times out of 10 it goes into your own goal.
Jose Lana against Manolo Marquez in the game on the 9th of September. An all-Spanish affair. Sabag stopped by Mutu. And surely, given how Manolo Marquez keeps tabs on what's happening back in Spain, very well known in the circuit of young coaches, he will know what Jose Lana's made of. Here's Sabag. Cut back, and this time it has taken a slight touch and gone into the back of the net via Louis Sitora, but Syria kept pushing, and a few short passes. Jose Lana's unmoved, but the scoreline has moved. It is 1-0 to the Quezon Eagles.
A little unlucky for Sitora to get the last touch on that ball, but this is where it all began. An interception from Al-Mawas, setting up his teammate Sabag to get the ball through. A shot from the inside of the boot, maybe could have gone away from goal, but Sitora's touch taking it towards goal. But that's composed play from Sabag. Could have tried to go for a shot from a narrow angle, but at the end of it, it's a goal towards Syria. 1-0, first goal of the tournament.
It was Abdul Latif, the 20-year-old who plays for Hanover, the reserve side in Germany. Just signed from Hertha Berlin for a decent transfer fee. Abdul Latif, of course, with 3 goals in 5 games for the under-23s in Syria, for the first time elevated into the senior setup and got a telling touch. As of now, it has been given to him. We will confirm whether that goal is his. But for the time being, he can celebrate.
Jalal Molek will be a bit gutted because his team has played some good football in the past 33 minutes. Unfortunate that Sitora's touch or Abdul Latif's shot has gone into the goal. We'll have to wait to see the confirmation, but I'm sure even at the end of the half, Molek will tell his teammates to keep pushing. They've got another 10 minutes in this game in the first half to keep pushing, get an equalizer before half time. But this was the opportunity. Pablo Sabag just pulling back the ball back for a cutback. But Sitora with the last touch, and according to me, it will be given to Abdul Latif because it was going goalwards.
So Syria take the lead. It is that clinical edge inside the box. Bruano has gone down. Looks like a calf strain. Maybe just a cramp. Now this 20-year-old will remember this moment.
Al-Mawas intercepting the ball and finding Pablo Sabag on the through ball with a cutback towards Abdul Latif, who just used the inside of his foot to be clinical, turn it away from Kevin with a little bit of help from Sitora. That goes towards the goal and gets his name on his first cap for the senior side.
There'll be a change. Bruano unable to continue. Gabriel Caliste, 17-year-old youth player for West Ham, is coming on.
Speaking to Molek earlier, asking him about the 17-year-olds. He said if this tournament is about objectives and completing opportunities, especially when you've got such a young talent playing at the highest level, he'll want to show what he's about. Bruano not happy with being injured so early, so quickly in the first half. But I'm sure it's an attacking change coming from Jalal Molek. He'll want to get an equalizer. I'm sure he can smell an equalizer in this game. They've played some good football in the past 30 minutes.
First goal of the tournament. After that, 0-0 between India and Mauritius. Aliste.
You can already see his awareness. So quick to just react, get the ball through. Aware of what's around him to turn away from traffic, turn away to where space is, asking the ball back. That's good work from Caliste as soon as he came on.
2 players down. Al-Marmour continues to stay on the grass.
Rose very late to win that ball off Al-Halak, but at the same time, this is what Mutu's all about. Confidence, even after that mistake that led to a goal, you can still see he wants to correct himself, he wants to play the way. And what was also interesting from my end, when the ball got cleared and was mishit, Jilon Molek wasn't moved. So there are ideas that Jilon Molek wants the likes of Mutu to play a certain way, wants the likes of his teams to play a certain way, and he's okay with mistakes to happen.
It's a great observation because we were singing praises about him playing the ball out, and he's tried to do that here. It's a risk, it's taken away, it's led to a goal.
Exactly, and the only thing from those angles, yes, it led to a goal. What Molek was saying on those angles was the fact that just tuck in, it's fine, the mistakes happen. But a goal is usually a couple of mistakes, a number of mistakes together that lead to a goal, and that's exactly what's happened. Mutu's missed pass to a through ball not being tracked by Mutu himself, who let Pablo Sabag be on. Maybe if Mutu stepped up, Pablo Sabag would have been offside. So there were a number of mistakes where Jilon Molek and his team will have to understand and work on moving forward. But all he said in those angles was just tuck in, solve that opportunity and solve that mistake. And a mistake not to clear the ball is what led to the goal.
Was that far post, looking for that knockback. And just a minute after that goal was conceded, there was another pass from Mutu which was intercepted in the same area, slightly deeper, and then that nutmeg. So there are clear instructions. You know what? Take that risk from that part of the pitch. If it's a goal, Jilon Molek is going to take responsibility for it.
And he's done it again. He's gone past Syrian captain one more time, wanting to dribble past him, wanting to find an opportunity on how he can move the ball forward. But then, in my opinion, there are two ways. How much risk is too much risk? How many times does Al-Mawas let him dribble past? At some point, even Jose Lana is going to say, let's double up on him. Then what do you do? When Pablo Sabag and Al-Mawas go together on Mutu, then what does he do?
A trip from behind, Al-Marmour with the foul. Villeneuve will take this. Haven't had a big moment yet. Mauritius in front of goal. Emmanuel Vessor. Almost a similar position compared to the game against India. That was a half volley and a powerful hit. This was more of a curled attempt.
Another opportunity falls to Emmanuel, who was in good position, but body positioning was absolutely wrong, just bending too far back and the ball not staying down. He had teammates in the box maybe to relay the ball, but wants to go for goal himself.
Al-Halak. Alajan.
Dora a little unlucky on that goal, could have cleared it, but hits the bottom of his foot and just goes towards goal. Questions still remain, but at the moment the goal stands for Abdul Latif. Whether it's an own goal or goal to be credited to Abdul Latif, but there's still time in this first half to probably get an equalizer for Mauritius or double the lead for Syria.
Alrina trying to combine with Moas, who is playing his 94th game for Syria.
There are just little windows of inexperience that you can see from this Mauritius side. A little hold-up play too much, a little closing down too quick and too early. Maybe that's the difference between an experienced Syrian side to a side a little lower in ranking from them.
Aliste. Sitora. And he gets it back. Good looking cross as well. And has it gone past the line? The linesman says no, while Mauritius celebrate. And he's given it. He has given it. And it did seem like it crossed. Wait, Harish Kundu's bringing it back. He is bringing it back. Lots of confusion. And this is going to be a very interesting replay to watch. It did look like the ball crossed the line, but celebrations first started, then they were cut short, restarted, and now surely cut short. Here it is.
Ferre in the box, rises the highest. Two Syrian players also present on the line saying it didn't go in. Even the goalkeeper was caught in no man's land. And probably a hand from Villeneuve was all we could see, and that is very well spotted from Harish Kundu, if that's what he's given. Because the after effects of that was that Ferre was on his bike to celebrate.
We might get word on that, if possible, if the decision was a free kick, because keep an eye over there. Villeneuve also went up. 3 minutes will be added on as injury time. But this game started as a wet, slow burn. It's turned into quite the entertainer.
If Harish Kundu has given anything except that handball, I'd like to know what it is.
Villeneuve. Mauritius with a bit of spark now. Half time coming at the wrong time for them.
Pablo Sabag just holding the ball on for too long. He had teammates running forward, could have created a counter-attack, but decided to keep the ball possession, which in turn was also given away. This is where teams have opportunities in the Intercontinental Cup to be and bring themselves into learnings, to be aware of what and where they could do better. Because one goal lead is never enough. They were almost equalized a couple of minutes earlier.
Ferre. A clever idea, needed another runner along with Francois.
Cross comes in from Sitora. Villeneuve rose the highest. If that's not handball, that is a sure goal. And Harish Kundu has pulled it back for probably a foul, if not a handball.
I wonder who's foul, because the way Villeneuve went into the air almost seemed like there was a bit of a push on him, because if that's the case, then that has to be a penalty. Either which way, Mauritius slightly unfortunate.
I'm sure they'll feel that that goal had to be given, because from the goal cam angle that did cross the line, the whole ball was across the line, and there were fouls in it, there were deflections in it, but at the end of it, the only thing given was the foul by Harish Kundu.
More happening. This time between Abdul Latif and Lindsay Rose.
Both of them fighting each other. Abdul Latif trying to get to the ball, but just a collision of bodies between him and Lindsay Rose. And the ball ends up with Kevin, who now will begin a last few attacks for Mauritius in this first half.
One good point from that little episode on the goal line is that Harish Kundu taking his time, waiting to give the linesman and check if he's going to take responsibility for the decision. And once the linesman did not want to make it or had not made a decision, he took responsibility. Let's take another look. Is there a foul on Villeneuve? Is there a handball?
There is a foul on Villeneuve. There is a slight touch of a handball as well, but the only person with all the answers at the end of the first half is Harish Kundu.
And that answer has been provided already. It was not a goal, so it stays 1-0. As the half-time whistle goes, Sitora's slight touch, deflecting Abdul Latif's attempt into the back of the net after a very good Syrian move. But Jose Lana has been warned more than a few times. Mauritius brave, risky and entertaining when they go forward. And it's always fun to have a talking point on the goal line. Some really good tactical observations as well in this game. Manolo Marquez will have learnt a lot as to how this Spaniard wants to play. But as it stands in Hyderabad, Syria with a 1-0 lead over Mauritius. So half-time, Syria, the higher-ranked team, 86 places above Mauritius, are in a narrow 1-0 lead. But the side from Africa have tested them. Syria took their time in getting settled, and a couple of really good talking points as well. It was a match which started slow because of a slightly wet pitch, but since then it has dried up and is getting slicker by the minute.
Some good football, especially dominating football from the Mauritius team in the first half. This was that first shot in the opening minutes. Glalel was tested on that occasion, but slowly but surely Syria built themselves up to this opportunity.
Pablo Sabag setting up Al-Mawas for a low attempt. Jean-Louis was well aware of that, and then after that move, Al-Mawas started running the show. Him and Pablo Sabag trying to combine again.
The wet surface not being of help to them, but Mawas has been dangerous throughout the first half from the right wing. Little deflection, Kevin not being able to catch it, and then Wilson Mutu just trying to play that ball out. A little bit later on, Mawas got the better of Mutu, goes past him, gets a little cross in, but this touch from Lindsay Rose was probably the best of the evening defensively.
The man of the match from the first game of the Intercontinental Cup, continuing in the same vein. And then that interception, an attempt from Abdul Latif, and the slightest of touches from Sitora, taking the ball into the back of the net.
Abdul Latif gets his debut goal on his debut appearance for the senior side, and then Emmanuel had an opportunity, takes a first touch, but his body positioning, body levels all wrong. But this was the biggest talking point of the first half. The cross comes in, ball goes over the line, Ferre on his bike to celebrate. But Harish Kundu saying you'll have to pause that for a little later.
And that is why it stays at 1-0 between the two sides. Welcome back. Earlier in the evening, when it was pouring, everyone was wondering what kind of game this would be. And the first 20 minutes, we were still wondering what kind of game this would be. But over the last 20 minutes, it really got really good between Syria and Mauritius. 1-0 to the higher-ranked side. But all credit to Mauritius for taking the game to their more illustrious Asian opponents. This is how the goal went in. Pablo Sabag setting up a shot for Abdul Latif, and a slight touch from the right back. Sitora taking it into the back of the net, but the way Mauritius almost instantly hit back. With this, it wasn't given.
The biggest talking point of the first half, as Villeneuve and Ferry both present on the second post, having Harish Kundu tell them that that goal is not given. The ball crossing the line. Surely Ferry on his bike to celebrate, having given the fans something to celebrate about. Harish Kundu put a stop to all of that.
Some players warming up already for Mauritius, as Louis Linley Rita will be coming on just like he did against India before the Intercontinental Cup. He had played just a minute for Mauritius.
Just so you know, that loud cheer that came about was for the Mauritius players coming onto the pitch. So clearly they're becoming fan favourites slowly.
We just have word on that incident on the goal line. The decision was handball against Mauritius, of course, which is why it was pulled back for a free kick.
As we saw and spoke about in the first half, there were glimpses of handball, and this is what was given. Villeneuve rising the highest, maybe a little finger touch to it was the reason why Harish Kundu and his linesmen pulling the ball back for a handball, I'm sure. But out of all of that, even Manolo Marquez will have a few talking points for his teammates to go back to.
Interesting changes as well to the handball rule and how it works now, with referees asked to be a little more lenient, especially towards defenders, where they don't always have to have the hands at the back now. Because if you're running in motion and your arms are also moving in that natural motion and the ball hits the arm, then the decision is don't always give it. So it's still all open to interpretation. But in that kind of case, when you go up with an arm raised, you make it easier for the referee to make the call.
There's two sides to the coin. Probably one of the reasons why Villeneuve's hand went up was the fact that he felt a push on the back of his shoulder. And that's something that's always going to go up, whether you like it or not. Every time, that's human tendency. When you get pushed, you use your arm to save yourself. But the only reason that arm was used in the favour of Syria was to save them from an equaliser. But second half is on its way, and Mauritius will not stop coming at them.
Really nicely set up. Here's Kaliste. Create some room for Yannick Aristide, who's making his 5th consecutive start. Hasn't seen much of the ball on the right wing. He was playing on the left wing in the game against India.
And I'm sure he's one of those characters that will like to get on the ball, and Molek must have spoken to him saying just stay at it, just stay consistent, it will come. Because apart from that goal that came from a mistake from the Mauritian boys, there wasn't much that Syria was creating, just a half chance or two before the goal was conceded.
Villeneuve. Lindsay Rose. Well seen by Al-Mawas, stopping the ball from getting to Villeneuve, who had taken up a crossing position.
They've done this very well. You can see it again in the second half. They haven't backed down. They haven't decided, okay, we're accepting our fate as per se. They want to take the game, they want an equalizer, they want probably the winner once they get the equalizer. And Villeneuve with his delivery has been very dangerous. He's got a good whip on it, good power on it, and good height on it as well.
And it comes with whip, height and power towards Lindsay Rose. Clash of heads in the box. I wonder whether there's any claret on that ash blonde of Lindsay Rose.
Both players had eyes for the ball, not wanting each other to get an easy opportunity, and both of them feeling the after effects of that header or that collision. Lindsay Rose may be feeling it a little more since he was facing the ball.
See, there's a slight cut just in the middle of his forehead. Might develop into a bruise overnight. Be okay with that. Lindsay Rose, a tough player, captain of the side, slightly dazed.
Syria probably will want to just take care of those waves of attack in the second half again from Mauritius before building onto some of their own. But I'm sure in the meantime Molek will have a few changes of his own to bring on and make the game turn in their favour.
Slightly higher press as well from Mauritius.
Because I'm sure Molek feels there's an equaliser. He knows that that cross that came in, the goal not given, might have been slightly unfortunate, but the rest, he knows there's a goal in this tournament left for Mauritius. Even against India, they showed a few glimpses of attacks, especially again I bring it back to the Emmanuel Vincent shot that touched the crossbar, kissed the crossbar. Even Emmanuel had another opportunity here, but he got his body angles completely wrong to keep it on target, and then the goal disallowed. So there are opportunities that this Mauritius side is creating. They just need maybe one to open the floodgates.
If it stays like this, then all Syria need is a draw in the game on the 9th to win the Intercontinental Cup.
Makes it easy for Manolo Marquez. It's either a win or a win.
Animated as usual. Foreigner to take charge of India, Manolo Marquez. But he's been around the block for so long that it almost seems like an in-house appointment.
And it's always seen, even if you look at Manolo Marquez at Hyderabad, he took some time before getting them towards the title. Even at FC Goa, he spoke about he wanted characters in the dressing room. And I'm sure this season we'll see a different FC Goa for them, and probably he'll have a shorter period of time on the Indian team.
First time delivery has swung in. Time. That's what you don't get in international football, though.
And I'm sure Manolo knows that time's a luxury when you're the Indian national team coach. But this was that first time opportunity that came in, just overhit.
Sabag is chasing this. Jean-Louis comes out. Aliste. Yannick Aristide, too heavy.
Aristide just trying to find two of his teammates in the box. Aurelier wanted the ball to his feet. Then he also had the opportunity to pick it back to Caliste. At the end of that penning, none of them.
Interesting position though for the wingers of Mauritius State, slightly tucked in. Al-Mawas, he has beaten Jean-Louis, and then he went down in a bundle. Harish Kundu very close to the action. a very convincing tumble from Al-Mawas.
In my opinion, Al-Mawas went down like a replay before the replay started. Took his own time to go down, but good run, very intelligent to let just the ball bounce in front of Dylan Pollard.
Lindsay Rose up high. Villeneuve on the turn. Well played Al-Midani. Good close control.
Lindsay Rose playing high. One of the reasons why Dylan Pollard and Al-Mawas were found together. But he lets the ball run across him, lets that ball bounce. A little help from the rain. The ball slows down. Kevin completely beaten. And decides about 30 seconds later when the ball's gone past Kevin and him. He knows he's not going to get that back and just asking for a penalty. Maybe just another way of taking a breather from all that running that he's done from right wing all the way across left wing. Never a penalty. Never.
Al-Midani might need a change of jersey.
Maybe he's taken the Hulk potion at half-time and he's finally growing out of that shirt. In any way, he'll need a new one very, very soon because Harish Kundu is not going to let him play with that.
Surprisingly still on the pitch. Villeneuve. Might break for Francois. Shot was quickly blocked by Ahmed Faka.
Francois getting a bit of a lucky deflection coming his way. Tries to toe poke that ball towards goal, but gets closed down very, very quickly from Syrian defenders. And all they get at the end of that is a throw-in. And in the middle of that, Al-Midani gets a shirt change. I'm sure he's gone to Harish Kundu and said, "Hulk mad." He didn't let him get out on the pitch.
Villeneuve. Quick feet. Kaliste. Sitora. Here's Lindsay Rose. Kaliste. Trying to squeeze a shot in. A record for the youngest goal scorer up for grabs for the 17-year-old.
But that's good awareness where defenders are, where tackles can come in from. That's the acceleration to go past, but just could not get a clean hit at the end of all of that good work from Kaliste. But he's slowly growing in confidence since coming on for Bruano, who felt a slight niggle on his calf in the first half and had to go out. But then again, another opportunity for a young boy, a 17-year-old boy, to come in and prove his mettle.
Ball forward, just skid off the surface.
Midani just playing that ball directly to his strikers, but the rain not helping him or his teammates. But Jose Lana will be happy that he's got the goal in the first half, but he'll want to build on that because a 1-0 lead is never enough and never secure.
That ball for Francois for Yannick Aristide. And last season's top goal scorer from the Mauritius top division fails to hit the target.
Kaliste with that ball out forward, then Francois laying that ball out for Aristide. Maybe let that ball go across his body too much. Take a touch, get it in front of you. Waiting for the ball to come across you also means that you're going to go away from the target, make that angle very narrow for yourself. And that's exactly what happened from that shot coming in from Aristide.
16 goals for Aristide last season for Cercle de Joachim, the champions of Mauritius. Half a dozen players in the national setup from that club. Nice exchange, Al-Halak. Really good run down the left from Al-Marmour. Chance to cross it in. And Dylan Pollard had to get something on that. Into a very dangerous area from Elmar Abraham.
Abraham whips that ball in, had enough curl on it, and Dylan just getting a deflective touch, goes over the crossbar. That could have gone anywhere, but at the moment it's just gone out for a corner.
Al-Mawas will be looking for Pablo Sabag in the box. A lot of pace on that delivery. Jean-Louis comes out. Harmless in the end.
Dangerous delivery, whipped in the first header from the first post. Just a little too much. Kevin failing to clear his lines too much, and one more time Abraham with that shot sails over the crossbar.
Didn't get enough of the ball. Abdul Latif. Once again it was Wilson Mutu drawing the foul. And going to the book as well.
Second booking of the evening. And Abdul Latif on his debut also gets a yellow card to his name. Mutu venturing forward. Has the acceleration, takes a good touch away to get away from that slide. Villeneuve on the ball will want to find one of the big, tall target men present in the box.
So he's gone out wide for Kaliste. Now maybe the cross from Villeneuve. Good shape on it. Adventurous attempt in the end from Luis Sitora.
Can do better, should do better. Sitora. Villeneuve on the second opportunity, whips that ball in. Sitora confident enough to take it on the first score, but not on target at all. Completely wayward. That's where they have to just control the ball, recycle the ball against the likes of Syria, because the big men are up. Find them one more time.
Kaliste, 10th now on the list of youngest players to play for Mauritius, along with the likes of Quentin Lalsing, who's number 8 on that. Jordan Francois, who we also saw in action against India, is second on that list. So just imagine the clutch of youngsters that Julien Molek has and what he can work with. And we expressed some surprise about two 17-year-olds being on the team, but this is not new for Mauritius. They are not shy putting in the youngsters in that starting 11. It is a culture. Aristide. Villeneuve cuts in onto his right. Beautiful attempt! Off the bar and backing, sliced away. Big chance for Lenley Rita to equalize.
Villeneuve, slippery character, slips in onto his right foot, gets a curling effort, completely beat the Syrian keeper, and then Rita had the time, could have probably taken a touch, but again goes one touch towards goal and misses it completely. But what a beautiful curling effort, had the power, had the finesse to beat the keeper, but the crossbar just coming to the aid of the Syrian goalkeeper and the Syrian team to make sure that the scoreline still remains at 1-0.
Remarkable how Molek's team has beaten the goalkeeper on that very end twice in the tournament, unable to beat the bar. First Emmanuel Vincent, and now Villeneuve.
Villeneuve very unlucky, does everything right, takes on the fullback, gets past him, gets a curling effort, but just could not beat the crossbar. One-on-one, takes on the defender, comes in, sees a bit of space for himself. And what a beautiful curling effort.
Impressive, Mauritius. And that's the joy of the Intercontinental Cup as well. It brings teams to India. Such a surprise package. And that isn't meant in a disrespectful way. It's meant in a way where you don't know what to expect. And the curiosity is there. And you watch them play and you wonder, wow, this is unlike anything anyone ever thought would be produced on the pitch.
Pablo Sabag wanted that ball to his feet, but his teammates Mohammad Halak had other ideas, just wanted that ball to get into space, just overhit that.
Villeneuve. And the school kids love him on that side. Absolute entertainer. Sitora. Slightly heavy touch. Al-Mawas's defensive work is dogged. Kaliste. Hint of handball. He's just getting up. Sent in by Emmanuel Vincent. Kundu immediately blew the whistle. Mutu has to be careful, but pardon me, it was Yannick Aristide with the challenge, and that's why he's gone into the book.
Maybe that's why Mutu's a bit lucky, because he had Aristide for company, because Aristide and Mutu, both of them went for the ball and the player, and the only thing that came in apart from the ball was Abdul Latif, who earns a free kick for sure, and then Aristide goes into Harish Kundu's book with a yellow card.
Al Aswad and Usu will be coming on for Syria. Al Rina and Al Marmour will be making way, and Aurélien Francois, who will be coming off for Quentin Lalsing.
Changes coming in for both sides. Quentin Lalsing coming in to provide that attacking threat for Molek, and then there's got Syrian changes coming in. He's got Hans and Al Aswad coming in.
Al Aswad starting all 4 games at the Asian Cup. Another young player, just 20 years of age. Still 1-0. 25 minutes to go. Syria become favourites to win the Intercontinental Cup. If it stays like this, all they need is a draw then on the 9th of September. Now in terms of possession. First 20 minutes, Mauritius had nearly 80% of the ball. The game has not won in the first 20 minutes though, or with possession. Villeneuve. Lalsing ahead of him. Villeneuve wanted another offer of a run.
got that offer. Even Lindsay Rose wanting to make an overlapping run down the middle of the pitch to get at the end of a cross from Villeneuve, who decides to just rotate that ball, reset his teammates, get everybody in position. But that again gives some time to the Syrian team to just come back into formation, get compact in the middle of the pitch.
Almost finding Kaliste.
Dora closing down very, very quickly. I'm sure Julon Molek sent a few instructions that he wants his team to press high, get an equalizer and go in search for a winner if they can.
Another chance to put the ball into the box. That's why Lindsay Rose has just dropped it for Villeneuve to probably aim for him.
Lal Singh, who's just come on as well, will be a fresh, energetic option if Villeneuve can find him.
Dealt with. Sitora, nicely taken down. Aristide did not take it into his stride. Lindsay Rose
trying too much on that occasion. Lindsay Rose does well to get himself forward, does well to play the ball out. But that decision when the balls come back to him, decides to take a shot. But this is where it began. Sitora trying to find his teammate. Ball deflected, comes off, back to Lindsay Rose, who takes a shot and completely wayward from him. Probably a slight bit of frustration also creeping into these Mauritian boys, looking for that equalizer.
Alaswad. Falls very favorably for Al Halak, and then a beautifully taken finish. Al Mawas with his 15th international goal, and that was pure quality.
Brilliant finish from Al Mawas. Find themselves in the box completely unmarked. Had the time, had the space, had the finesse to finish that ball. And Syria have goal number 2, a bit of breathing space coming to them now. But it all began from that ball forward from Al Aswad. Just ran with the ball, a bit lucky. Ball lands to Al Hawas at the end of that, and then a beautiful side-footed finish completely sends it Kevin the wrong way. Had nowhere to go except just stand and watch that ball hit the back of his net. Kevin from a beautiful finish from Al Awas.
How good was that when the ball starts just outside the post and then curls into the goal, and at 2-0 Syria are not just favourites to win this particular game, but even the tournament, because now what happens is just a draw enough against India. Even if they lose by just 1-0, it means that they might take the cup on goals scored. India have to win that to get into the head-to-head, which is the first tiebreaker.
India will surely want to move forward and not go towards permutation and combinations and probably get a win against Syria. Now hopefully they will hope that Mauritius can get 1 goal in this game to sort of minus that goal margin just a little bit in India's favour.
Villeneuve, beautiful attempt again, cleared away, not letting the keeper come into action. Glenn has had very little to do. Ahmed Faka with the clearance on that occasion.
He's had a good game on his debut, Ahmed Faka.
Villeneuve once more. Kaliste. Al-Nawaz might be making way for one of the changes. Noah Shamoon, number 18, is the player coming on. Tahir Kruma also coming on for Mustafa Abdul Latif. So the two players who were involved in both the goals coming off. What about that for a finish from Al-Mawas? Pedigree.
Tahir Kruma, who's familiar with these conditions, gets an opportunity to maybe just reinforce that defence, play the role of a defensive midfielder. That's something that even Mumbai City will be happy to see. A versatile centre-back is how he's used in this league, in this country.
Yeah, Mauritius could do nothing about that second goal. Just the move that Syria produced, and once again the clinical edge in and around the box. Something that India also need to aspire. Going up all the way to the final third and not being able to finish is a problem that plagues many a team.
After all that discussion with the linesmen, finally the corner's given and the routine set-piece takers on it. Villeneuve on the ball, big boys present. They'll want to minus the scoreline just a little in their favour.
Towards the far post. There's Emmanuel Vesso. There's Lindsay Rose. Tahir Kruma welcomed into the game with a bit of a knee in the chest.
Dylan just trying to find Villeneuve on the wing, across all the way, just overhits that, but that gives an opportunity for Syria to come attack.
Kaliste. Lindsay Rose intercepted with ease. Mauritius are now open at the back. Pablo Sabag will want to take it onto his right foot. Instead, he tried to cross it in with his left. Very unselfish and nearly turned in by Al-Halak.
Pablo Sabag just wanting to roll that ball into a dangerous area for Al-Halak. But just could not get at the end of that, but a counter-attack followed as well to keep himself onside. Only Lindsay Rose present, overlooking his shoulder, coming out when he knows reinforcement has arrived. And then Mutu and Kevin just ushering that ball out, so Al-Halak can't get a touch to it.
How can India hurt Syria?
They'll have to find a way. They have to play quick football, because every time we've seen against Mauritius as well, when they give them time, they just come in and be very, very compact. So a way to hurt them is surely attack them quick. And we've covered the fact that that Syrian defenders, the centre-backs are very well aware of the crosses that might just come in. So another way to break them down is find those second or third man run that Manveer is very good at doing. Chunk is very good at doing. Play the ball on the floor, and hopefully the conditions are in our favour on the 9th of September at 7:30.
How tempting it must be to play Manveer on the right. The big question being, who plays at number 9 then? Chante's position is there. Mahesh as well, who likes to play down the wings.
I think you have the opportunity, or Manolo Marquez has the opportunity, especially in this tournament, to play a flexible front three. You can use the likes of Nanda, Chante and Manveer as a flexible front three. Let them rotate and not just have out-and-out wingers assigned their roles. Because we know, and I'm sure even Manolo knows, Manveer is very threatening down the right. Maybe he's got used to that position with the likes of the internationals covering Mohan Bagan's centre forward positions. At the same time, Changte for Mumbai has produced consistent performances across the 2 seasons. And Nanda and Mahesh, with their technicalities, can cause anybody any problems. So that is definitely an idea that Manolo can use, and use a flexible front three.
It will be very interesting to see the starting lineup on the 9th.
You've got Edmund as well, who can come on and prove his mettle, hungry to prove himself.
I love reading the takes on social media as well of what the fans think. One opinion putting out the fact that Sahal Abdul Samad has been playing slightly centrally in the Durand Cup, allowing wider players to do what they do best, which is cut the ball in towards him.
I feel Sahal could be starting that game. He was also very dangerous in the previous game. I'm sure all of these thoughts, along with social media critiques, is in Manolo Marquez's head as well.
Not the latter part. Something that coaches are just taught not to look at that.
I'm sure he's definitely not looking, but a lot of people will second Manolo's thoughts, especially after what he's achieved in Indian football. Wherever he's gone, he's brought forward progress, if not titles, and that's the reason probably why he's been brought in as the Indian team coach. And Intercontinental Cup is a sure shot, proving ground for him that he is the right man for the job.
Villeneuve, strong, and trying to spin away past Tahir Kroma. And there was help in trying to win that ball back from Usu as well.
Villeneuve knew there were tackles coming. The slippery character earns his team another free kick in a very dangerous position. Lizzie Rose will come on from the centre-back position into the box.
A little bit of a dink. Lindsay Rose tried to bring him down, and then just left the leg dangling in the hope of getting caught.
Confirmation of the booking. Hans gets a yellow card for that tackle of Villeneuve. Lindsay Rose just wanting that penalty. Harish Kundu, one of the best referees in our country, gets that one right.
Al-Halak. So we have one more change to make. Mohammed Osman might be coming on. In the mood now, Alajan. Lindsay Rose with an interception, chance for Syria to probably make that change very soon.
He's had a good game defensively again, Lindsay Rose, but Syria just a little too clinical tonight for Mauritius.
Pablo Sabag. Changes also ready for Mauritius. Syria in control now. Aristide. Villeneuve. Clipped into the path of Aristide. Nice little drag, yeah, but not buying it. Ahmed Faka has had a fantastic international debut.
He's had a brilliant debut tonight. One-on-one. Aristide trying to drag that ball across, but Ahmed Faka just reading all of that. Couple changes coming on for Mauritius. Number 5 comes on.
For the Francois. Jordan and Adrian back on the pitch. Mohamed Osman ready to come on for quite some time. It'll be after this Villeneuve corner. Inzeros plays it out wide for Jordan Francois, who was pulled back. Flag went up offside.
That's good work from Syrian defenders just to move up the line, catching the Mauritian players offside. That gives them an opportunity to make some changes as well. Ahmed Faka with a cramp, struggling, gets his name on the substitution board.
Going to come off for Mohamed Osman, who has played for Netherlands under 15 and 16. Continues to have a very decent record in the Netherlands. The senior team, of course, being Syria.
Aristide have gone out for both the Francois, as mentioned. Jordan and Adrian both coming on. Probably the last opportunity or last roll of the dice from Mole to find some sort of respite in this 2-0 scoreline, and hopefully mount a comeback if they can in these dying moments of the game.
Al-Halak. Just as an afterthought, with all of those tiebreakers coming into play, in effect, India's only task is to win. Not the tournament, the game. The eyes are on the result. And there are some games in which the silverware won't matter, the result does. Taking on a team which is higher ranked, Manolo Marquez will, in a way, not really care about the trophy. He will want a result.
He did speak post the game, saying the Intercontinental Cup is a stepping stone for the bigger games to come ahead, the qualifications coming forward for the Indian team, and he will take a lot of learnings from this match, this tournament. And something very cheeky as well, they cannot play worse than this.
Good attempt. Ledley Rita, second attempt of the game after coming on at half-time.
Getting appreciation of Villeneuve, but he will not be happy. He would have at least wanted to test the Syrian goalkeeper. But what a game this captains had for the Syrian team. Dribble past people, taking on people, intelligent leavings of the ball, and finally also finding himself on the score sheet.
Alajan. Back towards the left back. Little flick. Fresh legs from Noah Shamoon. Double timed and frustrated, and just a needless foul.
Noah just probably wanting to break the game down, wanted to dribble past, but just could not get anything out of that, and finally at the end of that just wants to throw in. I just wanted a hug. One of the two.
Lots of hugs after full time for winning the game. All in all, a good start though for Jose Lana. Same can be said for Dylan Mulek as well. Surely no coach wants to lose, but there are some losses that don't hurt as much. This is one of those. They may have lost the game, but they're not defeated.
I think all the three coaches coming into this tournament had the same afterthought, saying this is a stepping stone. This tournament has bigger objectives, how we will perform at the World Cup qualifications.
Great ball in from Villeneuve. What a dangerous delivery he has, and how close was that? Two players involved, Dylan Collard and then Lal Singh as well.
Everybody onside. Collard at the end of that tries to get a touch, but just could not keep it goalwards. Just not ready. Lal Singh also present in that delivery. Could not get a touch to turn it towards goal.
There will be 5 minutes added on. Pablo Sabag just behind Al-Halak, who wanted it in his path.
Five minutes is up, and I'm sure now the Mauritius team will want to go attack this. 5 minutes up on the both officials' board. That means 5 minutes of dying football. Put everything on this pitch, leave everything on this pitch for Mauritius. Attack on attack, in the hope that they can take this clean sheet away. If not, bring the game back to equal terms.
Yazusu. Al-Halak. Slip from Al-Midani. They want to continue playing Mauritius. They want a goal. Jordan Francois, the attempt was to play him in. Villeneuve approaching. Nice clipped ball into the box. Lindsay Rose completely missing it. Syria can breathe easy. Pablo Sabag. Big first touch to allow him acceleration. 2-8. And the finish was extremely tame from Mohammad Osman. Adrian Francois has just gotten off the pitch. And then the flag is going to go up. It stayed down. Chance for a clipped attempt. Jean-Louis, I wonder whether it hit his body. Not the arm, surely, because Harish Kundu was very close to him. There's Villeneuve. Just opening up these dying stages in this match. Dylan Collard put it in. 3 red shirts onto Quentin Lalsing as soon as that ball was delivered. It'll be a yellow card. Looking at Al-Medani for that earlier challenge when he slipped. Him trying to recover, and then it's a full lunge on Adrian Francois. The youngster lucky to come away uninjured. These are those chances. That's the call. We thought he was in line with Lindsay Rose. And the other attempt straight into the body of Jean-Louis. With Tahir Kroma, his eyes must have lit up in that moment. Al-Aswad. Al-Halak. Osman puts it in towards Pablo Sabag. Frustrating night, and he was offside as well. Just ahead, leaning in front of the last man. Al-Mawas takes home the player of the match. Hard-working winger. Excellent contributions going forward and in the defensive half as well. Scored the telling goal. Until that finish, it was anyone's for the taking. Villeneuve. Lalsing. Syria unable to clear the lines. A stinging attempt came in. Via Wilson Mutu, and that is the last piece of action for Mauritius in the Intercontinental Cup. They left everything on the pitch, just did not have the finishing touch inside the box. Now, who would have thought, ranked 179th in the FIFA World Rankings, made it so difficult for 93rd ranked Syria. A showing that will give them a lot of confidence as they continue their World Cup 2026 qualifying campaign. Villeneuve hitting the crossbar with a beautiful curled attempt. As usual, Mauritius making it difficult for their opponents. Gilles Molek probably having a word about that disallowed goal. That equalizer in the first half that was pulled back for what the referee thought was a handball inside the box from Villeneuve, who was up in the air. Lots of talking points, but how close was this? 13 attempts from Mauritius, just the one shot on target. which is very much like what they achieved in the opening game against India. Syria, clinical. 2 out of their 3 shots on target in the back of the net. And that is what matters in this unforgiving sport. Interesting game this. Everyone expected Syria to dominate, but Mauritius, as usual, showing signs of incredible growth in terms of their football. Pablo Sabag then set up Al-Mawas for what was his first attempt of the evening, straight towards Jean-Louis, but he was involved in everything good that the Syrians produced, including the interception that he would make in the lead up to the opening goal. He is beating the quicker, faster and younger Wilson Mutu. Lindsay Rose's clearance expertly done. Here's that interception and a nice flowing move, neat triangle towards the number 17 Mustafa Abdul Latif, and a slight touch from Sitora, deflected to beat his own goalkeeper. Emmanuel Vincent, as usual, on the edge of the area and threatening, but this cross from Sitora caused all sorts of problems. They all went up. Indian Harish Kundu thought that Villeneuve was leading with his left arm and got the slightest touch on it. Ball had crossed the line, but it got pulled back. Free kick to Syria was the decision. There were chances for Aurélien Francois as well, who started tonight's game. There's one more as he tried to set up Yannick Aristide, the current Golden Boot holder in the Mauritius top division, could not convert or hit the target. Now how about this for technique? McGlellan completely beaten and Lenley Rita unable to turn it in. But talk about finishing. And when it broke for Al Halak, and number 10 Al Mawas turning it in with a classy take. His 15th in Syrian colours made it 2-0, and it was too far then for Mauritius to close the gap. Villeneuve's deliveries were threatening as usual. Another good chance. Both Quentin Lalsing and Dylan Collard unable to make Syria pay. The Honourable Speaker Gadam Prasad Kumar hands over the Player of the Match award to Mahmoud Al Mawas. As usual, an exemplary performance from the captain on the night. Lindsay Rose also gave his all, just like the Mauritius squad, which will now head back. And it'll be so interesting to know the thoughts of Jose Lana, who was in charge for the first time of Syria. He's waiting with Robin Singh.
One second, he's coming. Jose, a win in your first match in charge. You must be happy with the team.
I'm really happy with the team. I think the most important thing today was the attitude of all the players that was in the field and all the players that was in the field, that was in the bench. The attitude for me is the best thing today.
Jose, now with this win, it will give you confidence going into the next game. But are there any areas that is concerning to you?
For the next game?
Yes.
I think this is our starting point. We did many things good, and we need to work to improve another things. This is our starting point, and from here we'll try to improve everything in every match.
Coach, you spoke about the attitude. Is there something that is of concern to you? Because the team was a little slow in the beginning to start off the game. It took you some time to get the 2 goals. Is that a point of worry for you?
Can you repeat, please?
You took some time to get 2 goals in the game.
Yeah.
Is that a point of worry to you, or is that always how you wanted to play?
We need to go in the matches. Sometimes it's difficult for us to find the ways to keep the ball and to attack the other team. So I think after the first 10 minutes, we'll make a great first half, and the end of the match we will be really good again.
Thank you so much for your time, Jose. Good luck for the next one.
Thank you.
A really good starting point. Manolo Marquez is the man he has to beat next. The task is simple. India have to beat Syria to win the Intercontinental Cup. And that game is on the 9th of September. Hyderabad is expected to be here in full voice. It's a massive test. The AFC Asian Cup replay from the last edition. They faced off earlier in this tournament. What can Manolo Marquez and company manage in this one?